So there are so many laws which require us, in order for society to function in an orderly, in an organized, in a beneficial manner, there has to be laws that will enable us to work together in a cooperative fashion. That is the nature. That's what law is supposed to be. It's not always that way. There are many laws which are very biased, and sometimes people have to revolt, they have to rebel, they have to caucus in order to get rid of some of these laws which are sometimes prejudicial to certain people. So that is the nature of lordship. But not only congressmen and senators and presidents and so forth, but it also goes down. We become family members, and we have children, so we tell them what to do this, do that, do this. The child says, no, I will not do it. Yes, you will do it. Otherwise, you're going to get ice cream tonight. So the child wants to get the ice cream, consequently, he will do what he's supposed to do. He's leaving his toys all over the place, and people are coming in and tripping over them. So we try to teach the child, no, you don't. You bring your toys to the toy box and leave it there. So he starts to bring the toys to the toy box, he gets his ice cream that night. Sometimes he tests the parents to see how strong their will is, and he doesn't bring the toys, and if the parents are strong, he doesn't get the ice cream. He cries, he screams, he yells. The main point is this, is that the parents are the Lord of that child. Until the child grows up, and sometimes the child becomes the Lord of the parents, and tells the parents what to do. So, especially when the parents may be kind of elderly. So we all get a chance, and sometimes the child, you might say, well, how does the child get to be a Lord? Well, the child may have a dog in the house, or a pet turtle, or a pet cockroach, or whatever you have. Not too many of those, I'm sure. So he has this little pet, and he tells the turtle, come on, move, move. The turtle doesn't want to move, so he gives it a little kick, or he turns it over and turns it back, and then the turtle starts moving. So he gets a little bit of lordship. Then the dog wants the dog to sit down. Sit down. The dog doesn't sit, gives him a slap on the butt, and the dog sits down. So the little child, he feels powerful, he feels big, he's great, he's just like his mother and father. They boss him, he bosses the dog, and then the dog, what does he do? How does he get some lordship? Well, he bosses the cat. He goes running after the cat, and he barks to the cat, and the cat gets sprayed, he humps her back, and bares her claws, the dog keeps barking, and the cat gets scared and runs. So how does the cat get a little lordship? Well, the cat sees the squirrels outside. The cat goes after the squirrels, and squirrels run, and the cat's thinking, just see my power, how they run when I run after them. I meow, and they run scattered here and there. I'm so powerful. And so the cat gets lordship with the squirrel, and the squirrel is getting lordship with the cockroach, and the cockroach is getting lordship with the ants, and the ants are getting lordship over the mites. Everybody in this world is somehow dominating something, somewhere, someone. And that's what this world is for. So that feeling, when you feel that you are a dominator, a powerhouse, a big shot, it's a very heady, intoxicating feeling. And the more intoxicated one feels with that, the more he wants of it. And it's very difficult to satisfy it, because its nature is that it wants more and more and more. Unfortunately, we only have a limited lifetime. You become a senator, you may get so many terms. Eventually, you may get ill, or you're not capable, you get dementia. So many different problems come, and you can't be a lord. So then you have to now you have to just be nursed by your children or your grandchildren, and you just keep active interest. But that's very, very distressing. If you've been a lord for so many years, and now you're no longer a lord, you feel crushed. You feel small, you feel insignificant, you feel almost worthless. What's the point of going on living? What gave meaning and value and purpose to our lives is this false identity that we build. So we build a false identity which is now being crushed, and we don't have an identity to replace it. So what can we do? What we can do is watch television. So we go and watch television, And we watch these game shows in which people win $1 million, and you identify with the winner, and you say, yeah, I want $1 million. You think, and they say, no, I didn't win $1 million. I don't have any more money than I had before the show started. So, or you watch some drama, and you can forget yourself. Or you read the newspaper from beginning to end, and by the beginning you started in the morning, and at the end you finished the newspaper at 8 o'clock at night. It's now time to go to bed. So you can forget your demolished identity. This is very unfortunate, because one is an illusion. He never was big. We are all spiritual souls. The spirit soul exists within the heart area, and its size is only 1/10,000th of a tip of a hair. It's infinitesimal. It cannot be seen. It is subatomic. And it is forever. That is our real identity. We are eternal. Unfortunately, we try to eternalize the body, which can never be. The body will die when you're 50, 60, 70, 100, 90. It's got to fall. Sometimes it falls early, sometimes it falls late, according to its karma. But it falls. And then we have to start all over again. And when we leave the body, if we leave with material desires which have been unfulfilled, then we need to come back to this world again to suffer the miseries and agonies of material life that we had previously just to fulfill those material desires. Every material desire is fraught with not only the pleasure of the fulfillment, but the pain of its loss. And when we lose it, we may try to regain it. Sometimes we are successful. For example, a person wins a seat in Congress or so, and then he wants another term, and he's unsuccessful in winning it. Consequently, he feels sad that he no longer has a position. So he takes a position, goes back to just practicing the law or something of that sort. So pleasure and pain, they go together. You can't have one without the other. So therefore, one who understands this fully and doesn't care for the experiencing that kind of misery, which is terrible. It's full of sorrow. For example, you're married, and you're very attached to your husband. You're attached to your wife. She's performed so many wonderful, beautiful, lovable deeds in your life. She's given you so much pleasure, so much satisfaction, and so much fulfillment in so many different ways. Then she leaves, and you're alone. What do you have now? In this country, of course, the principle of marriage is not taken as deeply as in the Vedic principle or the Vedic system. In the ancient Vedic system, when a woman married her husband, if she fully understood it and fully followed it, there was no such thing as after husband died, that wife would go and get remarried. That was never a concept. It was a marriage till the end. And the wife looked forward to serving her husband in the next world. So it was a very, very deep and spiritual affair. Not something merely material you enjoyed with your senses, and now when he's gone or she's gone, now I have to keep my senses stimulated, so I take another wife or I take another husband and so forth. Let me just say this, sometimes there have been some divorces in our movement, and they've worked out and the person has remarried. I don't think it's very clear. Sometimes I've seen them work out very well, because the marriage should never have been done in the first place. There was never any what you call compatibility. From the beginning, the charts had not been compared, and the persons had not had a chance to explore. They were just arranged either by the parents or the temple president, somebody who did not have a full understanding and wanted to rush the daughter or rush the son into marriage just so that they could show to the neighbors, yes, my my son is married, my daughter is married, just see, we now are married, soon we will have grandchildren. You see, this is not the purpose of marriage, to show off for the friends or the neighbors or the relatives. The purpose of marriage is, it is a sacred activity, so that two people coming together can share with each other devotional service to Krishna. They can raise a Krishna-conscious child. Krishna gives lots of blessings when you do this. Like this little boy is sitting in front of me, and he's getting a chance, whether he understands this or not, what I'm saying, it doesn't even matter, but he's hearing it. And what he's hearing is going into his head, and he's feeling the security of sitting on his father's lap in front of the deities here. So this is very auspicious. You see, this is how when you bring children into the world, it is to be brought for one purpose, and that is they are not your children. Sometimes we think they're my child, because after all, he came from my body, and the wife is thinking, he's my child. I held him in my abdomen for so long, so he's mine. No, he's not yours. He belongs to Krishna. You just had a little fun in creating, letting the thing happen. But Krishna did the actual creating. He put the eyes there. He put the mouth there. He put the nose, the ears, the tongue. He did all the real work. And all you did is have some enjoyment. So once we understand that this child belongs to Krishna, then who are you? Yes, you're the father, but father doesn't mean child is my slave. Child is mine to boss. As I was saying, we come into this world to boss. Do this, do that. Oh, you have to look up to me. No, that's not the purpose. You have to discipline. Yes, you have to present austerities. You have to give the child some direction and policies. But the important point is you're doing it as a love offering to Krishna. That is the purpose of it. You're doing it as service, not simply because to be a boss. You're doing it to be a servant, to regain the position that you once had in the eternal world. That position was servant. You served Krishna, but you forgot. You came down to this world, and you became a boss. And so you had pleasure, and then you had pain, and you came to the realization that the pain is just not worth the pleasure. Rather, I just want to give Krishna pleasure. And whatever pains I get from that, that's good. Those pains are good because it shows that we value Krishna so much that we're willing to experience, we're willing to accept, we're willing to tolerate whatever difficulties come to us. As Krishna says, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like in winter and like summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness. So this is a very important principle, I think. So it is in the Bhagavad Gita. So firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness means we are unaffected by the onslaughts of material nature. And we'll get into how this is done. So let me go into the story to some extent of Lord Brahma. I started out by saying that this pastime is part of Krishna's Leela. Leela means his play, his fun, but for the purpose of educating us. So that we today and in the future will have the opportunity to read this. I'm going to change my position a little bit. So what happened was little Krishna, who was probably about 6 or 7 years old, I don't remember exactly. And Krishna was playing with his cowherd boyfriends, and then this big demon came in the form of a huge serpent that was about 8 miles high. His name was Agasa, or often referred to as Agasura. And he had been sent by Kamsa to kill Krishna, because Kamsa was very frightened that Krishna would one day kill him. There was a prophecy to that of that. So Agasura tried his best to kill Krishna. Krishna wasn't with his friends at the moment. He was, maybe 100 yards away from them. And all of the friends, they looked at this big mouth, this big serpent. Imagine 8 miles high, and wide open. They said, oh, look at this. I wonder what this is. This looks like a big cave. Let's go in and see what's inside. So they went inside. They had their little tending, they were tending their calves. When they put the sticks down, they went inside. And there was this very, very putrid odor that was coming from the intestines of Agasura, and they couldn't bear it, they couldn't take it, and they fell down unconscious. I believe they actually died. So Krishna knew what was going on, and what he did is he went into the mouth of Aghasura, and immediately he caused the demon to choke. He choked. And then he went over to his little cowherd boyfriends, and he just glanced at them, and his purifying, enlightening glance immediately woke them up and freed them from that death-like position, and they all went outside. And when they went out, the Aghasura demon, the soul, popped out of his head, and then he went flying right into the heart of Krishna. So he merged with Krishna. He got a good benediction. It is said that anyone whom Krishna kills goes back to the eternal world. That is an amazing, amazing grace. That even if you're a criminal like Kamsa, nonetheless, Kamsa got back to the eternal world because he just kept thinking of Krishna in a hostile fashion. That's not the way we should think of him. But because Krishna is all pure, it's like if you have a bar of soap and some water, and you have dirt on your hands, and you keep scrubbing the dirt off. Whether you like the dirt or you don't like the dirt, it's going to come off. Similarly, Krishna, when you focus upon Krishna, whether you like him or you don't like him, that soap of Krishna consciousness will wipe away all the impurities of your heart, free you from them, and liberate you so that you can go back to the eternal world, which is what many demons actually did, because they tried to kill Krishna. So this was actually a great blessing. So Lord Brahma, do we all know who Lord Brahma is? He has that 4 heads and 4 arms, and he's the creator of this world. Maya Devi, she brings forth all of the elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, in a raw state. Intelligence, mind, false ego. And what happens is Brahma takes these, and what he does is he shapes them. And he gets from Krishna, he gets it actually, or to Vishnu to be precise, he gets the DNA codes for each different species. There are 8,400,000 different species, and there's a DNA code different for each one. And he knows all the chromosomes and all the genetics and all that stuff. That's all in his head. And Krishna gives it to each and every one. To Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma creates them. So Lord Brahma is a pretty powerful guy, no doubt about it. So what happened was that here's the incredible pastime. Lord Brahma watched this killing of Aghasura, and he was watching, and he saw this little boy, Krishna. He was about 6 years old, and he says, "Is he my master? He looks so cute. He looks so lovable. He looks so adorable. Can he really be the Supreme Lord Vishnu?" He started having some doubts. I mean, when you see a little boy so tender, like you see a little boy like, you don't think this person has put together the whole universe. You just don't think that. That he's the one that gave you your existence. He's the one who is making all the karma reactions take place. He's the one who's keeping all the planets moving in their orbit in this universe and in millions of other universes. You just don't think that when you see a lovable, adorable, huggable little boy. You just want to embrace him, that's all. You want to play with him. But you don't think of him as as the Supreme Lord. So Brahma got bewildered. And he said, is this really my master? Look at him, he's playing with the kids, they're singing and dancing, they're shoving each other, they're taking their sticks and dueling with the sticks. How can it be that? How could the Lord condescend to just play like an ordinary foolish little child? How could he do this? So he had severe doubts, and he began to think that, well, the only way I can find out if he is my master, if he is the Lord, is I'll test him. Give him a test. And if he passes the test, I'll worship him. But if he doesn't, then my doubts or my suspicions are true. So what happened is Krishna went with his cowherd boyfriends, and they formed a number of circles. They sat down, like we're sitting now. They sat in 1 circle, 2 circles, 3 circles. And Krishna was sitting in the center. and they all had bought their lunch. So they opened their lunch bags, and they started to eat their lunches, yogurt and vegetables and chapatis and all. And they were swapping different preparations with each other. So then as Lord Brahma was watching this, he thought, okay, now I know what to do. I know how I can test Krishna. So the cabs that they had come with, they were sitting on the side of the Yamuna River. And the calves, they were in view of the cowherd boys. But then the calves, they disappeared behind some trees and bushes, and they could no longer be seen by the cowherd boys. And the little boys became a little anxious because they didn't know maybe a lion or a tiger or something will get them. They wanted to keep them in front of their vision. So they said to Krishna, Krishna, we can't see our children, we can't see our little cows. I mean, our little calves, where are they? So they were about to get up to try and look for them. But Krishna said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Meanwhile, Lord Brahma, what he had done is he had taken those calves, he had put them in a trance, and then from the trance position, he teleported them, if you will, to a cave. And in that cave, the cowherd boys, they were sleeping. They were in a sleep that could not be disturbed. In other words, pretty much like a coma. But it was induced by Lord Brahma. So they were there, and Lord Brahma wanted to see if Krishna could find them. Would he find them? Would he not find them? So the result was this. Krishna said to his cowherd boyfriends, you wait here, and I'll go and get the calves. So he went out, and he went behind those trees, and then what happened was that then Brahma, while Krishna was out looking for the calves, he went and he put the cowherd boys in a trance also. And he brought them to that cave. So the calves were lying there, and the boys were lying there. So Krishna came, he couldn't find the calves. He was looking here and there, supposedly. He was playing the game. He was playing with Lord Brahma. This is pastime. So he came back, and his friends were gone. I wonder what happened to my cowherd boyfriends. Where are they? So Brahma was enjoying this. He says, he couldn't find the calves, and he went looking for the cowherd boys, and he couldn't find the cowherd boys. So it looks like he may not be my master, but I'll give him a little more time. I'll go to my Brahmaloka for 1 second, come back. 1 second in Brahmaloka is a year. Because the relativity. Anybody who's read a little Einstein's theory of relativity, they have different time cycles. The demigods, one of their days is like 6. One of their days is 6 of our months, and one of their nights is 6 of our months. So a whole